Hi, my name is Rich. I use the he, him pronouns, and you're watching my YouTube channel where we play amazing tabletop role-playing games with friends. This is the fourth and final session of a game taking place in Star Wars Saturdays, which sometimes happens on Sundays because it's got to be Saturdays somewhere, right? Time travel makes that possible, I'm sure. We are playing Spirit of 77. Why? Because Mike Fernando was talking about Spirit of 77 on the Gauntlet podcast and mentioned how fun it was. And I said, hey, Spirit of 77, Star Wars came out in 1977. That seems like a good combo. Let's try it. So we are. Star Wars Saturdays is this ongoing anthology campaign I've been running for the Gauntlet for a few years now, where every month I choose a different RPG system and tweak it or just slightly alter it, reskin it, whatever I need to do to try to tell a story in the universe of Star Wars. Our timeline is post Return of the Jedi, say a year, year and a half, 2 years, somewhere around there. We're playing on a planet called Terrace, rhymes with Paris, lifted from Knights of the Old Republic, mentioned in Rogue One. There was a senator in the movie Rogue One, so it's canon. It's canon. But in Knights of the Old Republic, Terrace was this Ecumenopolis, which is a city world with 3 major levels. Thank you, Anders, for recognizing that I didn't screw it up. It only took 4 sessions. It's a city world with a lower terrace, a middle terrace, and an upper terrace. And those 3 strata also indicate the class of folks who exist there, the upper terrace being for nobles, high executives, and imperials of note. Yes, that's right. Even though this is taking place after the death of Emperor Palpatine and the fall of the Empire, quote unquote, not all of the Empire fell. I'm borrowing from the expanded universe the idea of Warlord Zinj and him declaring himself the warlord of the Empire and keeping a large slice of the galaxy under Imperial control, including the planet of Terrace. This is notable because all of the characters in today's game have heat, and heat means that the Teresian authority or the Imperials may come a-knocking. In last session, there was a large party, a birthday party, anniversary party for Elisar. Elisar is a Deveronian, the cousin of the head, the Vigo of the Black Sun, a criminal organization that has a toehold and a foothold here in Terrace. Black Sun, however, don't control all of the criminal underworld because the Hutt cartel have their own stake. Oddly enough, a retired Hutt, retired heavily in quotes, named Hajur, owns an upper city dueling ring, notable not only because it is a place that is rather famous, has been around for literal millennia in Terrace, but also because while he is a former member of the Hutt cartel, many of the goons and lieutenants of Hutt cartel gangs can be found there. And it was the place chosen by the Black Sun to be where Elisar's birthday party would be held. That party devolved into a bit of chaos as Inez, the Twi'lek, that one bad mother, was captured trying to do some funny business around Hajur and forced to be attendant to Hajur. She nearly killed the Hutt. Explosions happened. There was a fight on the rooftop, and everyone was able to drive away in a speeder. Now, if you've watched the previous 3, you notice that Will is not with us. He was unable to join us. We knew this going in. That's why we gave a nice off-ramp for Inez as she hopped onto a freighter, or maybe not, trying to save her friend Tags, and 2 of them are gone on a freighter, we hope. We'll find out in future Star Wars Saturdays because it is an anthology campaign, and Will does like playing in this. And Tags was a PC of mine, so I'm sure at some point they may be played again. We will leave that as a period of ellipsis. Now we are focusing on our 3 remaining characters. It's our last session, but I would like to have everybody go around the horn and just remind us a little bit about what your character's buzz is and a brief description of them. We'll start from the right-hand side of the character keeper, heading to the left. So, Greg, if you could introduce yourself and remind us about your character.
Hi, everyone. I'm Greg. I use he, him pronouns. I'm playing Mr. Gulster. Mr. Gulster, his buzz is criminals get away with too much, and it is my goal to stop them. And then just a couple things. Vastadur is dead, yes? Or at least was shot and fell off of a roof?
Yeah, we heard a Wilhelm scream. We're pretty sure that
okay.
Voss is gone.
And then I did last session during this escape, I did take a gun off of the bounty hunter, and I believe he did notice me right before everything went to hell. And then I do technically still owe Dots 50 credits, although I did give Dots a really good punch that I said was the other half.
He didn't agree to that.
He didn't agree that it was half the credits and a punch in the face. So just throwing those out there. But yeah, I think I'm looking forward to running to ground as we try and beat the heat. It's gonna be fun.
Indeed. Thank you very much, Greg. Stephen, you're up next. Introduce yourself. Tell us about your character.
Hi, my name is Stephen. My pronouns are he, him. And today I'm playing Drew Thal, who is a Bith. That's the jazz players in the cantina kind of stuff. And he is a naive little nerf herder from Offworld, and he is seeking out adventure. And he has a band that play a different type of music. I think it's Minaret or something like that. And he just got through playing at the little shindig that we had, and he has a few groupies that wander around town. So,
and also, as the result of a mixed success in trying to escape the clutches, the fandom clutches, the groupie clutches of Elisar, the anniversary girl, a tracker was placed on Drew Thal.
That's right.
Thank you very much, Stephen. Last but certainly not least, Andesh, if you could introduce yourself and tell us about your character.
Yes, hello, I'm Anders. I use he, him pronouns. I am playing Desica's hermit, she, her. She's an alien of some kind, near human. She is the sleuth, which means she's a private detective. She had a brief brush with fame recently when she saved the child of a politician. Now she's trying to bust up this slavery ring that we've heard about, and trying to not die a lot. That's not super important. She's in it for the thrills. So it's action all the way, baby.
So we do a quick slice that moves across after all of the intro credits showing each of you in various actions. Like maybe we see Drew just banging out long solo, playing on his horn. Gulster, I'm imagining maybe Gulster running over something in a speeder, showing that he used to be a cop. And then Desica's, I'm imagining Desica's punching somebody out in our crazy 70s cop show intro. And we have that slice, and the three of you are in. I think, Mr. Gulster, you have a vehicle and you've never driven it. So I want to break that pattern and have you driving this vehicle. And at this point, we just see the lights as you're cruising down a dark Dirt Creek street. It's nighttime, and we just see occasional, like, the spotlights of different street lamps that are above as you're zipping along this downtown area. There are, or at least it's an urban area of some kind. There's a lot of urban decay here. Drew, what's a couple of things that we notice as the speeder is cruising along this area? This, maybe it's in Lower Terrace, we're not sure yet, but we see that there's some detritus. There's something that's run down here with something that the camera focuses on.
And this is nighttime, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think we see some yeah. So there's some kind of holiday going on, and we see like a parade. And it's flashing lights and glowing, glowing costumes and that kind of stuff. It's sort of like, I'm just leaning into the trope, basically we just basically are speeding past the equivalent of like Chinatown, where there's like, dancers and that kind of stuff, and they're out in the street celebrating.
And then Desicus, among the celebrants and party goers here, what do we notice about them? Is there a particular color this part of this party, or are there a particular culture that is represented?
Yeah, I think now I'm kind of leaning on what Steven said, but I think there's a lot of lanterns, like various. I think it's like glass and paper lanterns, and there's a lot of dancing, and I don't think this is like a single species cultural thing. I think there are multiple species present here, but they're sharing this cultural celebration.
Nice. And so we see all this happiness and excitement that's happening by this parade as Mr. Gulster. I assume maybe you slow down. Part of the road is blocked here. You're in a speeder, so if you need to, you can go up a few levels, but maybe you don't. So Mr. Gulster, as this parade is going on, maybe there's a city block, and it looks like there was a building once here, but it's fallen down at some point. We're in Lower Terrace. What do you do, Mr. Gulster? Is this were you coming here for the parade, or is this an unexpected thing that's a block in your way out? I'm curious.
I think there's this so we're playing Drew's music because Mr. Gulster is always playing Drew's music.
He's a big fan.
And it's this sort of discordantly sad song. It's more of like one of Drew's chiller, like calmer pieces of music. It's not one you would dance to. You slow dance or you play it alone with your music player. As these people are
not a date, just with your music player alone.
Yeah, all by yourself with your desk
sad
stick,
your room,
right?
Sitting on plush carpet. Yeah, I like it.
So there's like this sad soundtrack as the people are having this very festive holiday. And I think Mr. Gulster, he slides off to an alleyway, and kind of sets the speeder down, because this is a spot where we could hide for a little bit and sort of avoid the heat. So he opens up the side door of the speeder van. It sticks a little bit, bangs on it, opens up finally, and he's gonna just watch the parade go by a little bit at the beginning.
I have to know, or reminder for our audience, we have a mural on the side of the speeder van, don't we? What is it Mr. Gulster has had plastered on?
Right.
Or maybe it's changed. Who knows? We don't have to worry about continuity.
Right. It's he's from Terrace, so it's probably this very fancy sort of neon like cyan kind of abstract piece. But it also has like it has like action Mr. Gulster in the middle of it, like yeah! It's a picture of himself. And it's a stark contrast to his much more sad and solemn self, because he's fairly sure that he has lost Inez, who was a good friend.
So it's a picture of Gulster. Is he like super heroic in this? Is he stoic? Is he action Gulster? I really have to
It's
know
action
what the pose
Gulster.
is.
It's commemorating his time on the Force.
Ooh,
And so he's like holding his slug thrower and yeah, in an action pose.
nice.
Actually quite a bit like Leia in Stephen's background kind of thing, but with forearms.
But with forearms. Awesome. That's great. Good stuff. Drew, we get a quick moment where we see your fingers in the bandage. How this is, of course, not a mechanical wound anymore. It was a narrative wound. So is he still hurting from that? You still have one harm, so it could be that if you wanted.
I think at the end of the last session, there was a request that I play a very difficult piece.
You
And
got out
I'd
of
gone
it.
back in and, originally I had the two fingers taped together and I was skipping notes to, or adjusting notes on the fly. But for
Right.
this difficult piece, I think I'd gone in and I had splinted each finger individually and, put individual tape on them with like a little, wooden rod next to them. Cause I'm used to these kind of, wounds from the farm. And I think what we see during this is like Drew's kind of, sitting down on something nearby, unwrapping those fingers and kind of flexing them a little bit, and they're feeling a little bit stiff, and then wrapping them back up and putting the tape back on there, so if something happens, they're protected a little bit.
Cool. I noticed that you have 0 XP for Drew. Is that right?
I think I just leveled up and took a
Okay.
new move. The new move I took was Walk It Off, Son, which is whenever I berate someone suffering a minor injury two or less,
Mm-hmm.
they ignore the damage completely. So it
Okay.
heals them.
Excellent. Excellent. So I was just fascinated because I saw level 1 and 0 XP. I thought, really? You've never heard? So okay, thank you for clarifying. Yeah. And we've got Gulster right on the border of leveling up. Is that right?
Any moment now.
Any moment now. All you got to do is fail in action. Good stuff. Good. Desicus, what is it about this parade that Desicus cares about? Is there someone here that's a contact for her? Is this a parade involving an event that she's intimately involved with? Why does this parade matter?
Ooh, interesting question. I think she grew up in this neighborhood. At least part of her like when she was 12, 15, her family lived in this neighborhood. So this is like a nostalgic moment. She knows this festival very well from her childhood.
Let's give this neighborhood a name then. So I did a quick Google on top 10 words and neighborhood names. And one of them came up as beach, but there's obviously no beach. So what do you think about the neighborhood known as Duracrete Beach?
Oh yeah, that's great.
Okay.
Yeah, I
cool.
think there's like there's something that used to be like a huge fountain, almost like a swimming pool combined with a fountain, but it's completely dry now. So it's like this huge Duracrete bowl almost, and that's where the word comes
Man, I
from.
love it. There's all kinds of, because we do have established from Rebels that graffiti and paint is a thing. So we have all these different Arabesh names and names of crews and other fanciful things that are in the bowl. And maybe we have a few people on rocket skates that are like skating around and doing
Yeah.
tricks. I like that. I like that a lot. Awesome. So Gulster opens up the van door. You guys head out milling about in the crowd then to get cover.
I think so. Drew is kind of drawn by the music, so I think he finishes wrapping up those fingers and he kind of looks up and kind of leans over and smiles at the other two, and I'm at least going to start playing along. And with the parade, it's a different type of music than I'm used to, but boy, it's really nice. And I'm going to step out. And if no one objects, I'm going to join the parade and march along with them.
Cool. Does anyone object, Gulster? That's because
No, Desica's is right there beside him.
nice.
Don't leave me. And Mr. Gulster closes up the van and quickly like fumbles for the data pad and hits the button. It makes it like a beeping lock noise and okay, and starts making his way through the crowd.
The three of you get swept up in this parade. There's all kinds of lights. There's a person, the group of people. I'm kind of imagining like the Chinese dragon. So they have a couple of poles holding up this fanciful. It's like a rack ghoul, fanciful head.
Yeah.
The Legends of Terrace and the rack ghoul plague. They've tried to make it more part of the fun part of this culture.
Can they just be like the different limbs of the rat ghoul?
Oh yeah, that's wild.
So there's different arms that off the puppet. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, maybe there's like a silvery sheet, and then other people are the arms with the big, huge rack ghoul head. And Desica's, as the three of you, as Drew is dancing around, Desica's, how is it that you discover that Drew has been like, there's a bug on Drew, a tracker on Drew?
I don't think I see it on him. I think I spot the people following him because
Nice.
they're not dancing along to the music. They're not following the rhythm of the whole thing. They don't have a clue about the parade. They're just trying to.
It's like all the parade goers are minnows, and these are just sharks that are moving and cutting through. Yeah. A few members of the Black Sun. We know Vastadur is dead. So yeah. So you notice that. What do you do? They seem intent on Drew.
Yeah, I think I sidle up to Mr. Gulster and still like dancing along so as not to alert the suspicious people. I think we've picked up a tail, and not the good kind.
Huh?
They're heading this way. I think they're Black Sun.
And I think it's that point that Gulster sees shoot, we should have one of the named ones here. Who of the named Black Sun is there?
Oh, it could certainly be Smiley if you want.
Oh, it would be Smiley, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's because Smiley's got a serious mean on for Desica's. Maybe she hasn't noticed Desica's yet. Because Desica's is wearing that different hat. That's why.
Yeah, I think think Mr. Gulster very quickly like looks around and like hands like grabs out of someone else's hand the pole that's holding up one of the arms or something, and like hands it to Desiccus. Like, I'll find Drew.
Right. I'll intercept if they get too close.
Drew. And like Mr. Gulster's all four arms are waving above, looking for Drew.
Nice. Drew, you've moved away from the others. What have you found? What is it that Drew's up to when?
I think I'm just losing myself in the music and in the the revelry here. And I think I see Mr. Goldster headed towards me, waving his arms, and I kind of wave my arms back, like, yeah.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, you wave your arms back. You're excited. And Drew, as you see Gulster moving towards you, kind of cutting across the crowd. Everybody's moving, right? It's a parade.
Yeah.
You follow his eyes as he glances over, and you see Smiley, the girl that made Vastadur beat you up. Poor Vastadur.
And we hear that, and all of a sudden we hear like an off note,
It's scratch.
and like, yeah, and like, huh, and I think Drew then, definitely like, turns around kind of wide-eyed and ducks. A wide-eyed Biff. Ducks down and kind of wonders, starts trying to work his way through the crowd away from you said it was Smiley who'd come in?
Smiley and a few thugs, including
Yeah.
another basilisk, a younger one.
Ooh. Yeah, and trying to slink away in the other direction and work his way towards Mr. Golster.
Okay. I think you're trying to act despite imminent danger, work under pressure here. So maybe you're rolling with hustle, because it sounds like you're trying to get out of the way and act fast.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Your hustle's a 2.
Okay. That's an 8.
An 8. Okay. On a 7 to 9, there's a complication. The DJ will tell you what. So you're trying to, you do it in that you're trying to worm your way back to the crew without the Black Sun noticing you. Cool.
Well,
okay.
I don't know if they've noticed me or not. I want to get away from them, and I'm going to head towards Mr. Golster. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. All right. So you do it, and there's a complication.
Mm-hmm.
The complication is that people recognize you, Drew. They're like, whoa, Drew Thal. Oh, wow. And there are a few players at the beginning of the parade. They're the head of the parade playing music. And you start getting like they're pushing you, trying to nudge you towards the front. And all of a sudden there is a clue horn shoved into your hands. What do you do? Flu horn, sorry, not clue horn.
Yeah. Well, I can't exactly. Well, maybe they can kill me just like right in the middle of a big crowd. I think I look up the stage and I'm really tempted. No, I'm going to do it. I get up and I'm going to start playing in front of all this public, because they're not going to leave me alone. And my intent here is to satisfy the crowd so that I can slip away.
Awesome.
Right.
So I think you get pushed up. Let's just go for it. There's a float. What is the float about? Is it sponsored by like a local business here in Lower Terrace? Is it?
Hey.
Oh,
it could be Sunny's Noodle House, right?
It could be Sunny's. Yeah, it could be Sunny's. Okay, yeah. So
I have
to Sunny's.
Just as an aside, I have to mention in New Orleans, whenever there's the Mardi Gras parades, one of the groups is called Chewbacca's.
Nice. Because Bacchus. Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to ask Misha all about that.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure he knows all about it.
I think his wife was in the parade with Chewbacca last year.
Oh, that's so awesome. Yeah, they have a website. It is delightful. Oh my Lord.
Anyway, I just whenever you mentioned that, I was like, it could be Chewbacca. Well, maybe it's not Chewbacca, but yeah, I like Sonny's Noodle House better. Yeah,
Sunny's Noodle House, but yeah, Chewbacca's would be fun. So you're pulled up onto the float. You're playing some music. It's Sunny's Noodle House, which has some people dressed as different members of the. Oh crap! What was the name of the? What's the name of the Swoop Gang?
the Zid Hounds.
Yeah, the Zid Hounds. There are a few people dressed as Zid Hounds. So we see the Wild Thing. Of course, someone dressed like Wild Thing has to happen. That is a moral imperative.
Wild Thing is a towels, and basically, I think what we
Yes.
see is someone who's dressed up, and maybe they've got spray paint on their fur, but it's obviously fake, and they have like a big straw, and they're drinking something out of that big straw. Yeah.
Yes, perfect. That is great. Awesome. So the Fluhorn, Drew Thal, you're playing Descus. You saw Mr. Gulster go after Drew, and now all of a sudden Drew's up on a float, moving along at the head and playing. That is not what the plan was at all. What are you doing, Descus? As you see the Black Sun, they've kind of at this point they're just following the float.
Yeah. Well, I got this Raku leg thing. I think I've tried to maneuver it to steer us to be between the Black Sun and the float Drew is on, to block their vision a bit, and so that they can't see exactly what's going on. And they definitely don't have a clear shot at it.
Oh, nice. I like that. Yeah, you are moving to get in their way when you see that Smiley has actually pulled out her gun, and it looks like she's just going to try to take a shot at Drew, trusting that she'll kill Drew and these people will run away. So Descus, what do you do when you see that? She gets
Like
this,
how
she gets a
close
shot
are
off.
they? Are they far off?
Let's say
in the
that they're
crowd?
like 20 meters away. So it's a long shot, but she trusts her.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a bit. Ooh. Yeah, I think I'll just. No, I can't do that. Oh, yeah, I have to. It's the only thing I can think of. I pull the pole loose from this the Raccoon thing, and then I just shout for everyone, move, and I just charge at her.
Oh man, that's awesome. Oh, you're just gonna charge her with a pole? Like that's amazing. That is fantastic. Let's see if you are going to, or if you're able to deliver a beatdown as you charge after. Gulster, you catch sight of this when Descus screams out, "Everybody move!" And you see that Descus now trying to lance Smiley, and that one of your people is going to try to get in her way. What are you doing?
So I imagine that's, we established that there's other goons here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that other basilisk is right by Smiley.
I'm just gonna pull out the old slug thrower and take a shot. Because everybody move, and then there's a gunshot that might throw off the Black Sun a little bit. They weren't expecting it. But I'm not gonna take the shot at Smiley. That's Desicus's thing. So okay. One of the other goons, if it's the other Besklos, that's fine.
Okay. So do you want to make your own attack, trying to blast them, or are you trying to help Descus out here? What's your intent?
That's a good question. And I didn't. There is a move. I don't even think it's one of the. Doesn't
What'd you think
someone
of it?
have a move? Oh, maybe it was Inez has the move where you shoot into the air as like a warning shot.
I do think that sounds like an Inez move.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm trying to help Dessicus. That makes sense.
Yeah, wake up call. That is Inez's move that you were
Yeah.
thinking of.
I remember reading it somewhere. I was like, oh, that's cool.
Okay, roll plus the
All right.
hooks, which would be 1.
One. That is an 8.
All right, you're giving a +1 to Dessicus. As Dessicus, you tried to deliver a beatdown with a rat ghoul arm pole.
Yeah, I assume this is might.
It is with might.
Yeah, so with that +1, I'm rolling flat.
You also
So,
rolling
hold on.
extra something. Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
because of Drew.
Oh, right, black belt and crazy.
Right, so I'll roll 3 dice, and that's a 1, a 1, and a 3. So, well, I guess the third die was the 3, so it didn't make things worse.
You got a little help.
Yeah,
Not enough.
Yeah,
Not
that's
enough. Yeah, mark that XP.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. So what happens is you charge forward with that Rekul arm pole. The Beskless tries to move in the way, but Gulster, you fire a shot and hit him in the shoulder, and he lets out a yelp of surprise and looks around and spots that it's you. Smiley, though, she is faster than you expected, Dessicus. And when you charge forward, she had the gun up like this. She just reaches over, grabs the pole, and twists and sends you sprawling and fires at you. Bwah! Fires and hits you right in the back. It's vicious. You will take 3 harm. Do you have any armor?
I don't think so. No, I do not. That's 3 harm. That puts me at 6. So I'm still alive.
You're still alive. Woof. That is some pain. Yeah, she delivers a pretty nasty set of shots to you, but a slug thrower and then a heavy blaster just went off in the middle of this crowd. People are scattering. Folks are getting a little trampled. They're screaming. Some people climbing up onto the float with you, Drew. When you're looking around to see what's going on, there's a person who's wearing a Wookiee mask, who's a Rayra cosplayer, who's screaming like, "Go away, run!"
And I think we see Drew, kind of fighting his way against the crowd towards where he last saw Mr. Golster and Dessicus, and the crowd is like a wave coming through, but he's working his way that way.
Nice. Oh, so you're hopping down off of the...
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Hopping down off, and everybody's kind of scattered, and, we see them all running past, yeah.
You see all these people running past, and then you see Drew as you're headed towards try to help your friends. You see that Mempo looking thing the Smiley wears in her hard eyes, and she's cutting through the crowd coming towards you. She's giving you up for dead, Dessicus. Yeah, it's like, I shot her in the back. She's dead. That's fine. And then the other basilisk is coming towards you, Gulster.
Yeah, so I think I definitely have to get out of the way, right? So, I'm like, I have no idea what I'm going to do. I'm working my way there, and then all of a sudden I realize they've got guns. So I'm going to just try and get out of the way. Maybe draw them off a little bit. So let me get out of the way is dodge a
Roll
source
plus
of
hustle.
danger. Hustle. So let me see what that looks like. That's a 9.
Oh, you're a good hustler. Nice. 7 to 9, you mostly dodge. Take half the harm or take no harm, and DJ will get a pick. I'll say that she fires at you through the crowd, and you see that it's these concentric circles. Like she's flipped her blaster to stun.
Yeah.
So do you want to take half the harm or take no harm, and I get to make a pick of that list?
I will. Okay, just so I can see it, I'll take half the harm,
Okay,
and that's 2.
cool. So that's the thing, is she went full bore on Desicus, but she's trying to stun you. So what she is throwing out is stun harm. We'll say that it's like 1 stun harm.
Okay.
If the full
Now-
thing had happened, you'd be stunned, which means that you'd have to roll the opposite of roll with something extra, roll with a little less. I don't know what it's called. I can't remember to do anything. But instead, you just take 1 harm right now.
So, I have a move called Cheap Shot Artist, which is you're skilled at sneaking a dirty hit in onto the big plays. When successfully taking a hit or getting out of the way, which is what I just did, from a melee. Oh, it's a melee attack. Never mind. Okay.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That stinks. I wanted you to have your cool thing.
No, it's fine. I'm sure we'll have a bunch of melee here in a second.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So yeah, she fires to the crowd, hits somebody behind you, and they're fully stunned and just fall to the ground. But nobody, it's, they're not going to get.
But it's close enough to me. I kind of spin around and I'm like, dazed a little bit, and then duck behind like part of the Rakghoul,
Oh yeah,
paw kind of thing. Yeah.
Nice. Yes, the Rakghoul Fu lion thing. Sweet. We cut to Gulster as like, you shot me. Only got 3 arms now, he says, because his 1 arm is kind of limply hanging there. And this basilisk is younger than you. He's strong. He's like an upgraded model of you, Gulster. But he never took the path that you did. Became a cop. He's just a thug.
I was young like you too, kid. But you need to learn some dirty tricks. And I'm gonna. So I imagine we're like locked arm in arm, doing some sort of
grabs
basilisk
1 arm,
grapple thing.
Yeah, and the weird basilisk grapple. I love that.
And this isn't something we've established about the Fuzzy Bantha, but can I have remotely called the Fuzzy Bantha? Because I want to deliver a beatdown with my car by throwing him. He doesn't expect it. The Fuzzy Bantha hits him.
That sounds awesome. I want to see that.
Okay. So yeah,
I will tell you though, if you fail at this roll, you will be putting bystanders in danger and we'll have to react.
Oh dear. Okay.
A runaway Bantha.
Let's see. So deliver a beatdown
with your car.
Oh, when you're in the driver's seat, though.
Oh, it's fine.
Okay,
it's fine. That's from the 70s. This is Star Wars. You can do it.
Roll plus might. Okay, that's +2 for Gulster? Question mark. Yes. Am I currently trying to protect the bystanders though by taking?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. I'll roll something extra.
All right.
Just know
how could this fail? My luck is so good.
It's so good. Oh.
Okay, so 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's a 9.
Yeah, I just saw that 1 and 3 and thought, oh no, it's another failed roll with something extra. But that 4 definitely changes the story. What does it look like as you knock this guy senseless?
So okay, this is again the whole confusion. Am I also going to take harm if I choose to? Because deal your harm or choose one, and one of the options is deal great harm.
Yes, the old deliver a beatdown confusion.
Yes.
So you trade blows with an enemy on a 7 to 9. Deal your damage or deal great harm. Why would you not? I don't understand. So either you deal great harm or you do these other things. Either way, you're dealing.
Oh, okay. I don't do any harm if I choose one though.
I see.
Okay. So I will bind, hold, or otherwise disable my opponent, and they deal -1 harm. But that is yeah, I think it's something like, you got a lot to learn, kid, and you should have seen this one coming. And I take out his leg, flip him over, and that's when the fuzzy bantha hits him, knocking him out.
Nice. And I think what we see before you got the upper hand is he delivered a couple of savage blows. But it's -1 harm. So let's say that you take 1 harm in the doing of this, because he would have done 2 harm to you just with his mere basilisk fists. And then bam, he gets hit by the fuzzy bantha, skitters down across the Duracrete street, and he is disabled. He's out for the bit.
Drew, Jessica, let's go.
Descus, you've been hurt. You are nearly dead. It seems like a whole lot's going on around you as you kiss the Duracrete street for a few moments. When you finally gather your senses, you see the fuzzy bantha is right beside you. Gulster is calling for Drew. People are still scattering at this point. It's a lot thinner. You see that Smiley is the only obvious opponent at this very moment, and she's still trying to chase after Drew. What do you do, Descus?
I think I like roll over and sit up and try to see what's going on. And is Drew running towards us?
I was running towards y'all, and then Smiley shot at me, and I ducked back behind like part of the float, part of the parade area.
Right. Yeah. So I think since I'm near the fuzzy bantha, we want Drew to be able to get here. I think I try to lay down. I pull my holdout blaster and try to just take a few pot shots at Smiley to give Drew some cover fire so he can move forward. So I don't know if that means I'm helping Drew do his thing or if this is my move. I'm not sure.
I like you're helping Drew do his thing. So
Cool.
Drew, let's see, you trying to get out of the way and didn't fail though, right? You mostly dodge and take half the harm. So sorry, just remembering that move, you mostly dodged. So Descus, you can take some shots at Smiley if you'd like. Go ahead and blast him.
Cool.
That's Drew dodged twice.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blasphem's hustle.
So it's +1, but I don't have anything extra anymore.
Too bad. It didn't help you too much anyway.
So I get a 10.
There you go. That's what happens.
How things work.
You have a clear shot. Deal your damage. This is a blaster, right? It's just straight up blaster for you.
It's a holdout blaster, but I think I don't know. Did I have it? Does 2 harm.
Nice. So you fire. You hit Smiley. She has an armored jacket, so it doesn't take her out, but it's enough for her to realize, okay, this has just gotten a little too much for me. She notices her basilisk thug partner is no longer around, and she's going to duck into the crowd and try to get out. So
yeah, and then I think I like pull open the side door and wait for Drew to get there while kind of hanging on the door because I'm not in any great shape.
You don't look good, kid.
Who are you kidding? I always look good.
Don't bleed on the carpet.
I'm not making any promises.
The 3 of you pile into the fuzzy bantha as you see that there are some Imperial speeder bikes. Evidently, shots fired during this parade, the heat that you guys have, that seems appropriate to me. So yeah, it appears that they are going to give chase unless you just turn yourselves in. I'm sure that would be fine. No?
I think we have the scene where basically Drew runs up to the van and jumps into the open, into the open area, lands on that carpet, and the door slams shut and we peel off.
Heck yeah, I love it. Okay, good deal. So you guys decide to leave the parade. Mr. Gulster, you're being chased. What would you like to do about that as an ace driver?
Drew, look at Dessicus's wounds, and then takes a quick turn down one of the other alleyways, and we're like doing the whole start of Revenge of the Sith sort of speeder bike chase thing, just like dropping really quickly down a shaft, right? Trying to
We're
like
Lower
take
City. You're
Yeah.
going to go into Under Terrace?
Oh
The
yeah,
Undercity? Oh
the
my.
Undercity. Like we're going somewhere the Imperials would be scared to follow us. Hopefully, maybe. Who knows?
I think you're trying to keep your cool as you get out of here.
Cool. Add your car's power to my roll.
Nice.
Okay. So what is my car's power? 1. Okay. Keep my cool with what?
Keep your cool.
Hustle.
I mean, yeah, I think you're trying to get out of the way. That makes sense. Hustle.
Okay. So that is flat. Here we go. That's a 9.
It's a 9. I think there's a complication. And I think the complication is you guys make it to the Undercity. They're not going to follow after you, but everyone gets one more heat.
Oh.
We got some people at Heat 4. Delicious. Detain. There's an active warrant for the player's arrest with an additional search warrant issued for their premises. If captured, they'll definitely be booked and thrown into the tombs. Potential rough up in their cell if they're not careful.
So, I mean, do we have like the John Wicky kind of moment where they put the warrant out for arrest and there's people in the Undercity who are getting the message on their data pads that there's a new warrant out?
Yeah, well, I mean, in Ghost
Right.
you probably got like an old data pad, like a police issued thing that you keep. Like you listen to the radio and you hear the APB for the Fuzzy Bantha. They don't call it the Fuzzy Bantha. They just give the description of your beautiful van with a picture of a basilisk on the front, on the side there, driven by the same basilisk.
Ulster taps the little warrant as it pops up. Drew, it's your next album cover.
Oh, wow. So here's a little bit about Undercity. The Undercity is a mechanical wilderness on the ground level of Terrace, beneath the upper, middle, and lower levels, and above the sewers. It is a dark, wild area inhabited by the outcasts, people whose ancestors have been eternally banished from the surface as a form of criminal punishment. Nice. I mean, not really nice. It's terrible and horrific, and that's where you are. And I think what we see is like it's almost like catacombs, except everything is old Duracrete that's taken on a particular patina. There are all these cracks. You can see the supporting rebar exposed in many places, rusted, lots of what's spalling?
Spalling is when concrete breaks off from its
Oh, nice.
reinforcing. Yeah. If you see a building with spalling, leave that building. Anyways.
There's lots of spalling and parts where there are shafts of light that shine through from areas where the Duracrete broke through, and maybe they've tarped over or just left it because it's not an inhabited area. Terrace is an Ecumenopolis. Like, there are not enough people to keep it as a city-wide planet anymore. There's the many terrible times that Terrace has had over the last few thousand years. But the Undercity, it's very dark here. Even though it is nighttime, it is, I guess it would be moonlight that comes through certain parts of it. Most of it is extremely dark, only lit by the lights of the fuzzy bantha as you guys are traveling through. So, Drew, you see the Descus is in rough shape. And
So
trying to drive you guys to safety.
I think I've gone over there because Desicus is like, I'm sorry, Mr. Golster said, hey, go take care of Desicus. And I think while he's ducking into Undercity, I'm like over there, and I think there's blood, and I think that Desicus, whenever I looked it up, is like dying. I'm like trying to bind wounds, and the healing that I have is for minor wounds. That's like, son, just get up and walk it off. But boy, that's not going to help here. And I think as we see the fuzzy bantha, dip into the Undercity and some of the danger there, I'm like, Mr. Golster, we gotta find a doctor fast. We need a surgeon.
Oh, I used to know someone. Hold on. Golster pulls up the radio, the big comlink. Oh,
You've got connections.
I do have connections. I'm trying to think who, whether in the street, in the clubs, or among the rich and famous, you know people and they know you. When you reach out to a friend for information, I mean,
so
do we want to stretch that to when I reach out to like an old contact? Or,
yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. That feels right to me. What were you going to say, Stephen?
I was going to ask, remind me who Hula is in the NPC tab on F22.
Hula was from our Swoop Gangs game, and he was one of the orphans that's kind of aged out of being an orphan and just doesn't.
It looks
have
kind
any
of like what
skills.
It looks sort of like what Cody's old character looked like.
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I didn't conflate the two. Okay. I'm looking for a doctor in the NPC tab. So okay.
Well, I was thinking it might be like an old a B2 droid, right? Like or something that somebody's assembled.
B2 is the. Do you mean one of the old battle droids, or do you mean? I do the same thing where I flip the two. So
yeah, the medical droid, but I want one that's like been cobbled back together, right? Like somebody one part at a time kind of thing. Yeah, I'll reach out to them on the radio. So good at this. Smooth. +2. I actually am good at that. All right. We need to name this droid.
We do. I'm going to ask Undesh to name this droid.
Here we go.
Name this droid is a medical droid that has been rebuilt. Got an 11. Hobo? Hobo is insane. HOBO.
Sorry, I put it.
Cobble. Oh, that's even better. That's way better. That is excellent.
Yeah, because they're cobbled together. Yeah. Cobble. It's Mr. Golster. It's gotten really hot, and one of my friends gotten burned.
You should apply ointment.
I was hoping you could.
Very well. Do you need me to travel to your destination?
No, I'm coming to you.
Very well.
Star Wars convenience. They're not far away.
They're not. They are down here in the Undercity, they serve the outcasts.
Ooh.
What did you do?
To make friends with Cobble?
Yeah, to make friends with Cobble.
Um,
Did you scrub his records off of the databanks? Did you bring him
no,
apart?
I
during
was
his
good for
reconstruction?
business. Because
You shot a lot of people? No.
yeah, because we've established that I got Inez fake credentials. I think I would occasionally send people to Kabul for cosmetic surgery to for like witness protection. That was the good side of the business, right? That was the being a cop. Like, I'll get you a contact so you're no longer seen. And then occasionally on the shadier side of the business, I would connect people with Kabul so that they would not actually end up on the with the law tracing them. Yeah.
Oh, goodness. I found an excellent picture of a 2-1B surgery droid over the. Oh, yeah. That's probably a memorable scene. That's great.
Oh.
Thank you for the.
Yes,
lead speech
COBL3.
there.
Yes,
It's
Kabul.
awesome. Perfect.
I think while Mr. Goldster is talking to Cobble, and headed that direction, I think I lean over to Desicus and I'm like, I don't know why those people are trying to shoot at us, and how did they find us?
I think it looked like they were tracking us. I think one of them was holding a tracker. I think what's the name? The same as Mr. Galster. The
Basilisk.
Basilisk. Yeah. Well, like one of his hands, he had some electronic thingamajig.
Absolutely, he did. One of his mini hands had one.
Yeah.
So I think I holler back at Mr. Goldster, hey, we're being tracked.
Well, what? What? Coaster's looking all around.
Do you have like a scanner so we can find whatever they put on us?
Coaster will like pause and pull off. We don't have much time. And he's going through like all of the electronics, like opening up multiple drawers at the same time.
And I think I'm like with Desicus, like, put pressure here, on this bandage. Hold it right there.
Oh, maybe this is stretching it a bit, Nate, but maybe that's something I could have in my burglar kit, like something that would detect a tracker or scanner thing.
That'll cost you $50, 50 credits.
That's fine.
There we go.
So Mr. Gulster is looking through all of his drawers, and Desicus is like holding it up limply as she's.
Yeah, try this.
Oh, these confounded contraptions. And he's pulling the little thing pops out, little radials. Oh, looking around.
Nice. Okay.
Is that keep your cool? I don't know. Is this even a roll?
I don't know. Where do we have a med kit? I can't remember if it's in the other rules or if I gotta jump back to. We talked about a med kit before the last time you got your butt handed to you. What is up with Desicus and harm? You're the only person who gets seriously harmed. You have one person who just, oh, my finger hurts, and then Desicus nearly dead again.
So are you looking for a med kit, or are you looking for the detective's bag?
Oh, sorry, I got mixed up. You're right. Detectives. No, I think
a burglar kit.
With your burglar kit, yeah, you paid a little extra money for the burglar kit to have what you need, and yeah, you can, with that, discover that Drew is bugged. Yeah, I don't want it to be a die roll. You're
Okay.
making the effort.
So I mean, where did they bug Drew? Is it like on his collar, or?
I think they slipped something in my pocket.
Yeah.
During the dance thing last time.
Yeah,
and I think what we see on screen is your like little scanner is there, and I'm working on Desicus, trying to get her all bandaged up and everything. And I think as you step up, I step back out of the way, and the little pointer points. Yeah.
Drew, they're tracking you. It's somewhere on you.
And I think I reach into the pocket and I pull out like the little, I don't know, it looks like a little round disc. I'm like,
And it has a real red indicator light that tells us.
oh
that it's
yes,
on.
yeah.
What do we do with that?
I don't know what to do with this.
Just toss it.
I think I smash. Oh yeah, I smash it with my foot, and then throw it out the door. We see the door slide open. This little dinky thing comes out and we close it again.
Sweet. We immediately cut to the basilisk who's being bandaged, and he's looking at and he just went dead. Smiley's like, what do we do? Go to the Undercity. Cut to you guys as you're parking the fuzzy bantha, and the clinic, I'm imagining, is set up in an Undercity building that was never meant to be a clinic. Let's ask Drew, what did this building that Cobble has made into his clinic, what did it used to be?
It used to be a slaughterhouse.
Oh God, that's awesome. So you head through a room with all these like rusted hooks, meat hooks that used to
And the
be...
little sluice,
God.
things underneath, and yeah.
That is amazing. I am so happy I asked you that question, because I would never have. Yeah.
It's gonna be okay, Jessica. It's gonna be okay.
And I think we're carrying Dessicus in like I think Drew has taken off like his jacket, his fancy like performing jacket, and we're carrying him in like litter style.
Nice.
This doesn't look like the place where people go to be okay.
Well, I go way back.
And it used
You
to
should have
be
seen
like,
the old place.
old like white tiled wall, and a bunch of the tiles have fallen off at points. You bring in Dessicus, and we see that this room, maybe it's like a room that has a bunch of old like sturdy metal tables. This is probably where they did their work of chopping up certain parts, getting the right cuts of meat. Seems appropriate. And you see that there is one person who's lying there. They have a brand new-ish, not new to them, it's new to them, and that's what's important, cybernetic arm. And I'm kind of seeing Cobble as maybe like tank treads is how Cobble moves around. So he looks very weird in he's got lots of different droid parts.
Welcome. Place the patient over there. It is good to see you again, Mr. Goldster.
Oh, it's good to see you too, Cobble. I wish it were under better circumstances.
If there were better circumstances, you would not be here.
I know. Just take care of my friend.
Of course.
And Cobble moves over to you, and I'm going to take a break to tell you a real life story. It's one of my favorite Rich going to a doctor stories. So I was in college. My wife and I were dating. We had dogs, and we were walking our dogs. It was late at night. We're actually walking our dog. I think it was a game night. The game was over and we'd taken the dogs out. And I'm standing there. There's just a couple lights on. And I don't know why, but a moth was doing like 60 miles an hour, just zipping along through the night. And I saw it at the last second. I ducked, it ducked, and it went literally into my ear. inside my ear and couldn't get out again. One of the worst nights of my life, because it's like 1 o'clock at night, and I freak out, and as you would with a fluttering moth in your ear that's trying to get out, I end up like taking a shower and trying to drown it, and it's a bad scene. But eventually, we get an appointment the next day, eye, ear, nose, and throat. Go in, and I went to the ER first, and they drowned it with, like, I can't remember. They basically poured a bunch of liquid in my ear. So I still occasionally think about the sounds of a dying moth against my tympanic membrane. But then they're like, okay, it's dead. Great. We're going to get it out. They do not have long enough tweezer things to get it out of my ear. So they send me home with a dead moth in my head. And then I went to eye, ear, nose, and throat the next morning. As soon as they opened, I'm there. I wait for somebody to cancel an appointment. I go in, and this is the moment. So I go in, I tell the guy, ear, and he reads the thing where the nurse is taking the information. He comes in, gets a little light thing, and he goes to look in this ear. And I'm like, the moth's in here. Like, oh my God, I've already had someone lean on me and try to pull a moth out and fail. And now this guy doesn't even know what ear to look in. But he just calmly says, I want to know what your ear normally looks like, son. And then he comes around and he has this like super long set of tweezers, and he goes, literally that fast. Choot, choot, just pulls it all out. And he says, let me clean around in there. And he pulls out a wing, and it's done. So I was like, sorry, I thought you were but he was really good at his job. So moth and ear story. Never told it to the gauntlet. There you go. So
I'm staying
Jessica,
inside.
Stay inside, friends. Whenever moths are out, be afraid, be very afraid. Anyway, so that is Cobble's style. It's Cobble comes, and you've been shot in the back, Dessicus, but Cobble examines the better part of your back and says,
There's a great deal of tissue damage here. You do not wear half coats, do you? I would not recommend it.
Sorry, I didn't quite hear what you said.
you're right. I think that the drone voice mod is a little too modulated. Let's
Something coat.
What he said was, there's a great deal of tissue damage here. I hope you do not wear half coats. But
I don't know what that is.
oh, it's like a coat that's cut off to show your lower
Oh,
back.
oh,
and stuff
right.
like that.
Oh, that's my second favorite coat.
I'm worried that all of these voice mods are too heavy, but I'm going to switch to bot. Let's see how this goes.
Very well. I will do my best. I would recommend ink or something else to make this look like you meant to do this.
And then he will start cauterizing the wound, which is incredibly painful.
Does he actually look at the uninjured side first?
Yes, he looks at the uninjured side first to know what it's supposed to look like.
Yeah.
Yes, I had to tell my moth story so that he could look at the uninjured side first. So there you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah,
That's,
yeah.
that's the payoff for my story. Cool. And Descus, you will be scarred on your lower back, but you get to heal 3 of your harm from seeking Bacta and a great deal of medical attention from a droid that was originally programmed for such things.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I think we see Drew nervously walking in the equivalent of a waiting room, but pacing back and forth like, oh, it's all my fault. And I don't know what's going to happen. And
Oh, Drew, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. Cobble knows what they're doing. Cobble knows his job. And he's like obviously like wringing all of his hands.
That's cute.
You think they could have gotten rid of some of the meat? It makes the place a little sketchy.
Nice.
Do we want to take our break?
Yeah, let's take our mid game break. I like that. Let's do that. Mr. Gulster and Drew, as the two of you are in the meat hook waiting room, discussing, trying to psych each other up about Descus being A-okay. I think, Drew, your band is trying to get hold of you. They're, of course, pretty concerned, as you are their lead singer and headliner and star. Are you ducking them?
so I
Or-
think that, as we're pacing in there and Mr. Golster said, oh, everything's going to be fine, we hear this chirp and I panic for a second and then I reach in my pocket and I pull out like the little, the little hollow communicator kind of thing. And I look up at Mr. Golster like, should I answer it?
Here, give it to me. Give it to me.
Great. So I hand it over to Mr. Golster and say, just hit that button there.
Speedy car wash. Speedy speeder wash. Car wash. Speedy speeder wash.
I'm trying to reach Drew. Is he at the speeder wash?
Speedy all day. Yep.
Click. Then it chimes again, like he thought he called the wrong sequence.
Yeah. So who was it where they popped up?
It was Gartras, the snit,
Okay.
your drummer,
Snit.
your cluster,
Kind of
cluster
mole
drummer.
looking dude.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to say, so it starts to ring again. And I'm like, I reach over for the thing and I'm like, okay. And I'll take it back from Mr. Golster and I think I'll answer it. Hey, are you guys okay?
Oh, wow. Oh, man. No, it's bad. It's bad. It's all bad. Everything's bad. Man, we're never going to play the dueling ring again.
Man, we got all shot up. I just barely made it out of there.
Oh, I'm glad you're okay. I thought maybe somebody stole your commute or something for a minute there, but I just had the wrong number. Yeah, we got out when you told us, but then we saw all kinds of explosions. And then the imps showed up, boys in white everywhere. They carried out some bodies. Glad none of them were you.
Well, yeah, I don't know if we're out of it yet. You know what happened?
Big shootout, man. It's bad news. We shouldn't have played a place like that. Black Sun, Hug Cartel. They were just itching, looking for. And then that one girl, that Twillig, she started all the mess. I blame her.
I blame her too. Okay, well, I'll be in touch whenever things kind of cool down a little bit and we'll find another gig.
Yeah. Maybe we could ride this, We're dangerous. We've been talking about a different band name.
Yeah, we'll work on it. Here, I'll call you if I need anything, and I'm gonna hang up on him.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like,
I think in the middle of that, as soon as I hang up on him, I turn to Mr. Goldstorm. I was like, "Do you think that was long enough for them to trace the call? If they were tracing it?"
Yeah, probably.
Oh no. So
it's great. You guys are so bad at being criminals.
So bad at being criminals.
It's awesome. I love it. As you guys are waiting for Descus to come out, the aforementioned but not seen very clearly new recipient of a cybernetic arm comes out. He's a little spacey from the spice that Cobble uses for, and they take down the dull the pain. And it's a Deveronian. He looks at the two of you. He says, "Hey, Gulster." He points with his still functioning like bioorganic hand. "I remember you. Cue ball from the Zids."
Oh, yeah. Big fan of the Zids myself.
"Yeah, man. Listen, I heard there was a bunch of trouble at the parade."
Yeah. Oh, just some criminal elements,
"Yeah, I heard boys in white showed up. Listen, I know you're an Undercity for a reason. There's a quadrant you guys need to stay away from, okay? Just telling you because I know you've done a few favors for the Zids. If you got a data pad, I'll point it out for you."
Yeah. Ghoster pulls out a data pad, wipes something off of it, and hands it to him.
So, yeah, they call it the Gundark Precinct. It's pretty run down, except there's a new facility down there. Imps crawling all over the place. Just steer clear, okay?
Yeah. Well, we always, like to steer clear. I'm trying to scrutinize what he's telling us because I think there might be something a little more going on here.
Okay.
Is this, is he trying to tell me to stay away from the Zid's turf while I'm down here, or is he? No.
Are you scrutinizing a person's responses while interacting
a little
with them?
bit.
Why don't you roll plus brains? Oh no, I'm so sorry.
No, I'll remember the what did he call the sector again? The
Gundark Precinct.
I
I'll put it in
I remember being a Gundark Precinct last time I was here. That's -1. Not dealing with the authorities. Yeah, okay. That's a 4.
That would be an XP. You get to level up, right? Or did you already level up?
I do get to level up.
Nice. Congratulations. You're level 2. I love that there's levels in this game. Makes no sense, but okay. You're a level 2 ace pilot former badge. Good job. He says, is there ask one? Yeah, it doesn't say what happens on fail. Okay. He says, puts his hand up on your shoulder, says, "I think they're running some weird experiments there. Super troopers kind of stuff. Just be careful." "All right. I'm out." He pulls out a death stick, tries to light the lighter with a cybernetic arm, but it's twitchy.
It like crushes the lighter.
Yeah, he crushes the lighter. Oh, tosses the lighter. "Hey, kid," he says to you, Drew. "Got a light?" He's got the death stick sticking out of his mouth.
And I think Drew reaches in his pouch and like real nervously, shakingly pulls up and lights the into the death stick.
He sucks in, blows a little smoke in your face, and "Oh, sorry, I thought you didn't know you both were sensitive." Oh, he pats your shoulder. Says, "Stick around, Gulster. He's a good guy. He's solid." And then he'll mosey out of there. He's obviously still affected by the spice. Descus, you are told by the doctor,
You are 78% effective now. You may go.
Yeah, that's about my usual level, I think. So thanks.
That will be 75 credits.
Yeah, let me check with the others. Since I only have 50 creds on me, I'll pay those and then hey Drew, did you get paid for the gig? Maybe in advance? You have some cash?
Yeah, I've got some cash. What do you need it for? Yeah, sure. How much do you need?
Yeah, just 25 to settle the bill with the doc here.
Oh yeah. Should I tip them too? I mean, I don't know how this works, in the underground, med bay thing.
I don't know how this
Ulster's
works.
hand in his pockets. Oh, I'm totally strapped.
So
I
yeah, I'll
don't
pay
think,
the bill.
yeah, I don't think tipping is expected, but
I am programmed to accept gratuities.
but not like require them, right?
Correct. It is not required.
So I think that, I think Desicus kind of looks a little bit closer, and I'm like, we were never here, and I give him an extra 25, right?
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, of course. My records are expunged.
Cool.
And I think Drew kind of slaps Desicus a little bit on the back and is like,
Probably
you
upper back.
scared us. Yeah, on the shoulder. Like, oh, you really scared us. You're gonna be okay? How you feeling?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm good to go. Let's go take these plug holes down.
Well, why do you think they were shooting at us?
Well, they probably didn't like our exit at the party. I know Smiley was not very friendly when we went off the roof.
So what do we do next?
I think Mr. Gauster knows where we should go, right?
We gotta stay low. Gotta avoid any Imperial entanglements. And I'm looking at what this Zidhound sent me, and I don't know. I think it might have to do something with the slave ring.
Oh, what did he tell you?
He told me not to go there, but he said they were running experiments. Isn't that what they said at the party?
Yeah. Sounds like
At this point, as a player, I'm
yeah.
not entirely sure I remember, but I believe that is what they were saying at the party. Okay,
Yeah,
excellent.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like the kind of thing you'd kidnap people for.
Okay. I think this is it. I think we gotta go in. It's what Inez would do.
Yeah, where is Inez? We need her help. So, what's your plan? I mean, are we just gonna go in and are you guys gonna shoot up the place, or I guess we have to get all the slaves out, right? All the prisoners out.
I think what we do is we fake a crash with the Fuzzy Bantha. When they come out to help, we knock them out and we take their stormtrooper gear. Mr. Golster is pretending that he's going to somehow fit into a stormtrooper thing. Or maybe you take me prisoner.
Yeah, I don't think they come with 4 arms.
So is this
Are
something we
we
would
still
do
doing
for
a
a
montage?
montage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely
Ooh,
see a
yeah.
setup for a montage here for sure. Oh my goodness, this is bananas. This story, this plan is great, and I am here for it.
By the way, I took as my extra my level up. You gain a new Dwang. I gained a business. Speedy Speeder Wash actually is a business Mr. Custer runs.
That's so good.
What does that do? Does that get you some money?
It
or
gives
something?
me money at the beginning of each session. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, you can
Um,
mark the money now because this is our last
yeah.
session. So good.
Okay. So
You're just giving a little bit of advertising. Oh yeah, I heard about Speeder Wash.
Speeder Wash. Oh boy. I guess this is I don't know. This is a lot. This is a lot of different. The plan. I don't know. Do we have a plan? It's a crazy scheme. It's a crazy scheme.
I mean, if you want to pull the Chewbacca maneuver and Mr. Golster is a new.
And Drew's a little short for a stormtrooper, but that works out perfectly.
Yeah, that would definitely be a complication.
So I think my part I think is we see Drew in the back of the van working on like his fluhorn instrument and some electronics and we see that and smoke kind of comes up and all that kind of thing. Yeah.
But it seems that Mr. Golster proposed the plan.
It
It's a
does.
crazy scheme.
So the plan is that we will crash the Fuzzy Bantha. The Imperials will totally come out to help us because that's what they do. We'll beat up the stormtroopers. You two will disguise yourself as stormtroopers and then bring me in as a prisoner. It's totally gonna work. So is this I mean, what I've described is both a violent and dangerous action, and also some talking, persuading, and manipulating.
Yeah, it feels more like about
The deception feels like the core thing.
Or we haven't
feels
rolled
like it.
soul,
oh, that's true.
staying cool.
Putting on a performance and staying cool. Fine, let's roll soul. That sounds bizarre.
I think I have a terrible
Do it.
soul. I don't think it's very good. Yeah, -1. Okay, great.
Oh,
I think it's probably more smooth, but I'll go with so. It's fine.
I feel like it's more smooth than it is soul. I mostly was
Okay,
you're right.
that's
We
fine.
never roll soul, so I was gonna allow soul to go just so we.
I will roll smooth.
Okay. Take +1 of the plan supported by plenty of resources people. It's just the 3 of you. I don't think so. Take +1. You base the plan on accurate current information. It's a hunch, right? At best.
It's a hunch. Yeah, because I rolled very poorly on that information. So
Yeah. Take -1 if there's significant opposition that would interfere with the plan. It's a big Imperial installation. I think yes. And then -1 if there's significant dissent. Hey, for some weird reason, it doesn't appear there's any dissent in this montage move. So you only have a -1 to.
all right, here we
roll.
go.
Wow.
And
At least he had a -1 in soul. Did you roll smooth?
I rolled smooth. I'm sorry.
Okay,
I can
good.
roll, I can
No, roll
soul.
smooth.
Okay.
No, it's good. It's good. But I felt better about it being smooth anyway. So I was just being yes-anding, even though it made no sense. I was not being a good arbiter of the rules. So I'm glad we rolled with smooth. 10. That is amazing. I was not prepared for a success. On a hit, you each narrate a scene in a montage as your plans go off smoothly. I don't even
I could
say,
start.
but then go ahead.
So the top banner of the split screen, right, is a long shot of Mr. Gulster's van careening, spinning, and hitting a light post in the Undercity. And he gets out, "Oh no!"
Gonna get a
Because some
Grammy for this.
Imperials like off on like the right hand side, like where he careened by, there were some stormtroopers, and he gets out, "Oh, help me, help me!"
I think we see Drew's portion is, in the bottom left hand corner of the screen is, Drew tumbles out of the van and then kind of gets on all fours and then lays down he's unconscious on the ground. And whenever one of the stormtroopers comes up, he kind of he pops up and trips them and then punches them or something and knocks them out.
Yeah,
Great.
and Jessica steps out of the van and stun blasts the other trooper.
Nice. That is amazing. You guys are able to. Drew and Descus now dress as stormtroopers. It's true that Drew's a little short for a stormtrooper, but here, I'll leave this up to you, Andish. The stormtrooper that you dress as, was it a female stormtrooper? So you have like a female set of, I don't know. There are now female stormtroopers that are showing up in the TV shows. So
yeah, but I think didn't she have like the same armor, or
Yeah.
did they? Yeah. So,
yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
It set me right there. All right. Awesome. Now
I don't think they have a stormtrooper boob armor, so we don't.
Well, I
need to
mean,
worry.
for a while, there was a whole theme of people who were showing up that were fem troopers, right?
Yeah.
But I think canon, they went back and said, no, troopers are troopers, and the armor looks the same. Yeah,
it's one size fits all. Shut up. Right. Awesome. Glad we talked through that. So now, Undercity, would you guys like the outer part of it? You just see this huge gray, like slate gray wall that is the exterior of this facility. And there was the small area. There weren't even guards outside. It just looked like something that, other than the fact that it's new, there's nothing to draw your attention to it. But you did the crash, a couple stormtroopers came out, you guys disabled them, and now you're hustling Mr. Gulster in. I totally have to do this. I'm sorry. I apologize ahead of time, but I don't really mean it. As you guys come up to the door that the two stormtroopers came out of, and then suddenly there's eyeball comes out, starts speaking at you guys, a gatekeeper droid. What is it that Drew or Descus you say to the gatekeeper droid to gain entry?
So I think that each of the troopers that we knocked out each had like a set of binders.
Mhm.
So I think we put the binders on Mr. Gulster, but we needed each of those sets, right? Because he has 4 arms.
Right.
And I think that they don't quite clasp, but like each arm is kind of cobbled together rather than like this. They're like, side by side. And I think whenever we walk up, I think Drew just kind of, says, "We have a prisoner," and points back at, the hulking Mr. Gulster, all bound up.
Yeah. I was just driving by.
It's true. You also are a terrible driver for some reason because you crashed into but the gatekeeper droid doesn't say that. Awesome. I think you're trying to get what you want.
which is smooth.
Roll with smooth.
Okay. That's an 11.
Wow, you are so smooth. Door opens up. Three of you walk in, and it's very large open area here. You see that they have their stormtroopers, maybe 2 platoons worth of stormtroopers that are ones like marching by, because the Star Wars, we have to have a squad of stormtroopers marching by. But higher up, like when you enter in to this like foyer entry area, it just opens up for maybe 30 levels, and you see that they have these turbo lifts that go up on either side, and there are all of these canisters, almost like back to tank canister tubes, and you can see silhouettes of people in them.
And are these people okay?
What kind of
Just from a
operation are
first
you running
glance,
here?
yeah. Are they alive? Can we tell? Are there blinky lights? Are they,
They do
do
not
they have
yeah, this is not the scene from, sorry, spoilers. They appear to be alive. Like you see indicator lights.
there's not like body parts or something like that.
Nope,
It's actual
not
whole
body parts.
people.
It's
Yeah.
whole people. Imagine if they were put in some kind of special formula back to tanks.
Okay, I see. Are they all human?
None are human. As you guys get
Oh.
closer, now, like this is a big, huge open space, and then the turbolists actually go up to them. But you see, just at a glance, you see there's a Twi'lek. Oh, there's all obviously another Basilisk. There all kinds of other species, but you don't see anyone that looks obviously human to you.
Okay.
And just as a reminder, because it's been a bunch of weeks, but the rumor on the kidnapping on the streets is that no humans have been kidnapped, just different alien species have been kidnapped.
So Jessicus, where do we go now? Mr. Goldster,
we're-
what's the plan? We're inside.
I don't know.
There's got to be a control room or something around here. But to begin with, let's go where those guys aren't going. And she like points to the squad of stormtroopers.
Okay, so you guys want to try to find a place to hide out and sneak around? Do you want to try to just bully your way up like you're taking a prisoner?
Oh, why don't we scope out a scene?
Yeah. Why don't you just go
Yeah.
by the scene? That's a great
Let's see
idea.
what to do. So that's what I'll do is I'll look around, and that's with brains. Brains? My brains is +1. Okay. Unless someone else wants to scope out a scene. Since
No, I
Drew,
think that's very appropriate. Good, Mr.
Okay.
Golster is like just playing up the role of a prisoner. What are you doing here? Don't put me in one of those tubes.
what about you,
Depends.
Jessica? 'Cause I mean, you're kind of the investigator here, and I don't want to step on your toes.
Yeah, I was mostly considering if this counts as the scene of a recent crime. Then
Sure.
I have some extras.
It is a scene of a recent / ongoing crime.
Yeah. So then, then because I get some extra questions,
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I know. I like
they're
the
going
extra
to be
questions.
useful.
Then I'll help.
Yeah.
Let me roll plus. Do you want me to roll before or after?
I roll
don't know.
before. I like rolling before.
Yeah.
Okay.
That way we know if you're committed mechanically to.
I
what
got a
you're doing.
12. So yeah, I should help. Yeah.
Oh my God, you should have rolled the main roll.
So
No,
many questions.
I'm sure you'll be fine, Jessica. It's great.
So then I roll with something extra, right?
So
Or is it
that's what sucks is like all this cool something extra. When you help somebody, you just give them a +1.
Yeah.
It says +1. Yeah.
You'd think that they'd use their own mechanic, but oh well.
That's an 11.
Well,
Nice.
needed after all. Nice. You got a whole host of questions because you have the base questions plus your special PI questions.
Yeah, I think my special thing is how many people were involved in the crime, like getting a sense of how many people are here. Like, is this is it a dozen people that we could conceivably in some way fight, or is it 100 people?
There are, you would estimate 40 stormtroopers here, and
Oof.
perhaps a dozen techs and engineers and workers.
Yeah, so just fighting everyone is not an option. That's good to know. Let's see. Who's in charge?
So you guys are scanning the place, taking a look. Drew, you and Descus both working in concert as Mr. Gulster throws in the business of don't put me in one of those things. You notice that there is I almost said Klatooinian, but it's a Kaminoan. There's a Kaminoan who a couple of the techs are reporting to. She has a data pad. You can kind of see the reverse Arabesh she's up on to the 5th level and seems to be doing some checks of the various Bacta tubes. She seems to be in charge.
Yeah. So, what's the fastest escape route?
Fastest escape route, there are 2. One, of course, the door you came from, which has a nice speeder van right outside. You also see that there is a turbo lift up, and of course, there's like colored lines showing where various things are, and there's one to a turbo lift that says turbo lift to what they call it, they wouldn't call it hangar bay, to hangar bay.
Nice. Ooh, and now I'm torn. I want to, the rest of you, do we want to find out if there's something hidden or who the toughest person is?
I guess hidden.
Ooh,
Yeah,
Let's
that
go with
sounds good.
Okay. So we'll say that you guys are moving a little bit because just standing there gawking and trying to figure all this out doesn't feel right. It's also not kinetic or interesting. So
Yeah.
maybe you're moved to a point, you head towards one of the turbo lifts, and we'll say, Drew, you are able to pick out that there are a few. You'll have to tell me how you know this, but there are a few cams set up in here, like little spy bug cameras that are set up, keeping an eye on this place that do not conform to Imperial standards or designs.
But so let me make sure I understand correctly. Do they look like someone other than the Imperials put them there, or do they look
Yes.
like? Okay.
Yes, it looks like someone is keeping an eye on this place, and the imps aren't
don't know.
aware that for some
Yeah.
reason you are able to pick it out and they just haven't.
Well, the band and I were actually shooting a video that we were going to go out on the HoloNet, and we were using the same kind of cameras.
There we go. I like that.
They're made to be inconspicuous so that they wouldn't show up in our holo vid, but in this case, they're made to be inconspicuous so that the other people don't notice them.
Yep. And maybe that's the thing where we see you as you're riding up a turbo lift. Drew pointed out to Descus and Gulster. It's all silent, right? We have some cool music playing in our next montage here. The turbo lift stops. A couple stormtroopers get on. They look up at you, Mr. Gulster, and one of them will look right at you, Descus.
I thought we had all the basilisks we need. This one looks old. Perhaps you dispose of it?
We picked him up right outside. Figured maybe they'd need some spares.
Spares. Listen. If you're trying to suck up to Glenhala, no, it's not going to work out for you. She only cares about the science.
Who are you calling old?
I'm calling you old, Basilisk. You
Oh.
want some business?
And I think Drew is going to take the take the blaster that this trooper had and kind of backhand Mr. Golster, but kind of lightly, like, shut up, you prisoner.
Oh! Mr.
Okay,
Gulster
so you-
starts crying.
you-
Ah!
You play
What's that
into
for
it.
science for you?
That's good. I like that science.
The turbo lift doors open up and they head out. And
Yeah, science. I like that. Good science. The science joke. Good stuff.
two stormtroopers start walking along the catwalk, ting, 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 heading away. What do you do?
So I think one of you mentioned going to a control room, which I think is a good idea. We also need to see if we can disable the video. But we're not going to take on, we're not going to take on 40 stormtroopers.
Yeah, we gotta make him evacuate or something. Like we could set a very small, very controlled fire somewhere. And
Yeah, I don't have any, I don't have anything that would start a fire. We'll have to look around and find that. So I think we're going to look for ammo cases, right?
So it sounds like perhaps we have another montage.
Ooh.
yeah. A very bad, stupid plan, but yeah. Better than no plan, maybe.
All right. Seems like Drew has proposed this bit of find something to blow this place up, right?
Yeah.
Get everyone to evacuate, right? That's the plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get everyone to evacuate seems like exactly what was proposed.
So are we trying to make something that's dangerous but not actually, like something that will appear dangerous but not actually dangerous, so we can do something
Yeah.
else? Or
Like maybe flood gas or, something like that would make all the troopers and personnel get out, but leave behind the prisoners that we could then free.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, I was thinking like tricking the sensors or something so that they think it's an emergency, but it actually isn't.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm basically making it look like it's worse than it really is.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was my the very small, very controlled fire was like so that there's some actual smoke, but then the
But if we make
sensors would signal like everything's on fire, get out.
In this case, maybe we have like this fog kind of roll out, this smoke kind of roll out, but it looks like it's going to take out the people here. So it has to be kind of believable for the scientist. And then a couple of us could like act like the bodies that the smoke has already overcome. Right? Okay. So that's a montage. What's that going to be? You think that's persuading and lying? Or it could also be quick and adaptable.
Maybe
see
this is the
what-
one where you're putting on a performance.
Oh yeah. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. This is performance staying cool or working with glam just to make it show like, yeah, okay.
+1 if the plan is supported by plenty of resources, people. Yet again, it's just the three of you. +1 if you're basing the plan on an accurate current. I'm going to say yes. We scoped it out. Descus asked all the questions, so you've got a +1 there. There is still significant opposition that would interfere with the plan, so that does cancel it out. But there doesn't appear to be any dissent. So you're just rolling with soul, which for Drew is a 2.
Ooh,
Good luck.
I'm used to putting on shows. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, that's a 10.
Wow. Okay. On a hit, you each narrate a scene in a montage as your plans go off smoothly.
So I'll start. I think this is what I described before. We see this smoke kind of billow out. Like in the top portion of the screen, we see the smoke start to billow out. And Drew comes out, and we hear over the mic in the stormtrooper helmets, like, oh, I can't breathe, and then falls flat, right?
Nice. And then, of course, klaxons go off.
Yeah, and I think Jessica's will get on like some intercom thing, and call out, the hangar's been compromised. Everyone out the front door.
Nice. Nice. And then what does Mr. Gulster's part in the plan?
So Mr. Gulster has broken the like that's the first shot of the split screen. It breaks the binders that are on him, and he's running down. Well, there's like stormtroopers running behind in the hallway. He's running down one of the hallways with all the tubes, and he's like with all of his arms, he's slamming all of the buttons, and the fluid is draining out into the floor and making it all slick.
Nice. And so we have to have a stormtrooper come by, slam.
Yeah.
And then because there's no guardrail, he falls off. And it dies because that's a thing we have to have. Stormtroopers start to usher out the techs and the like, and it appears that they're clearing everyone out of here, leaving behind the people in the back to tanks, of course. Glenn Holla will be yelling from the 5th floor. Yes, please evacuate. Follow all the protocols. If they are inside of the back to tanks, they will not be harmed. It seems that she is sticking around to make sure that everything is okay. She's put on a little mask, like the rebreather type deal, and she's doing some double checks from her little control area.
And I think as all the troopers and personnel kind of get out, except for her, I think that's whenever the montage kind of swirls around, and we end with like Drew popping up and shooting the panel next to the door, so the doors slam closed.
Nice.
Yeah.
Trapping them all outside.
Yeah.
I love it. There's a moment where one of the stormtroopers says, as one of the stormtroopers says,
Hey, wait, there's still people in there. What if they die? Really, it's smoke break time, man. Come on, let's have a death stink. Who cares?
so back inside.
Yeah, get everyone to the hangar.
Oh, you'd announced that. Oh, Oh, your plan is
Oh
to try
yeah,
to get
this is
to free the
when
people.
they're all outside. We
Yes.
need to get the people who were in the back the tanks to the hangar.
Nice.
And Mr. Golster has drained the tanks, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So the Bacta's all over the floor, and I'm like helping people up. Can you stand? Come on, we
People
gotta
are
get
coming
out of here.
out. They're like removing
Yeah,
the breather thing, and a lot of them are in underoos because that's the back to tank clothing type.
throwing blankets left and right, Mr. Goldstern. Come on, we gotta get you out of here.
Cool. You guys start ushering some of the folks. I think maybe Mr. Goldster, because these are innocent bystanders, I'd like to see you leading this, try to get everybody
Sure.
up to the hangar.
Am I keeping my cool?
I think so. Let's see. What is the move called? I was trying to find it again. I won't abandon you. Yeah. So roll with something extra to. What are you
Yeah, it's not a move that like when you protect the innocent roll. It was okay. Yeah, and I think the imminent danger here is probably either Glenn Hollis seeing us or firing on us. I don't know.
Yeah, Glenn Hall is your threat. I think. So.
I think this is I guess this is getting out of the way, acting fast. This is hustle, which
Yeah, that feels right.
I'm terrible at. Let's do that.
Okay. Well, 3d6.
But 3D. Yeah, that's right. Okay. So using the
Wow.
that's a 10. It's a 10.
That is a 10. I like that one, but then the 5 and a 6. So rolling with something extra pays off. How is it that you get past Glen Holla then? You can tell me. What is it that you do? Maybe you don't trick her, but maybe there's something you have to do with your hustle to pull this off.
Oh, yeah. So it's like, I don't know, 12 or so people, whatever, who are in the back to tanks. And she sees us and starts, oh, the prisoners are escaping.
Mr. Golster go, sorry.
Yeah.
Abe's Odyssey.
Sorry.
Sorry.
And I think the plan was for me to go up there and pilot. But I anticipate that she sees me and I just start shooting wildly in her direction with my slug thrower because she's too far away for me to like accurately hit her. But I just start
like
opening
10
up
feet?
fire.
Okay. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. Yeah, 10 feet. So that's my cover. I'm like, go, and I'm pushing people onto the turbo lift.
Sweet. Yeah. She's not, because you rolled a 10, she's not a combative person. So you fire that slug, she's ducking out of the way. Everyone's going up to the turbo lift. Drew, what are you doing as Mr. Golster opens fire on who you, as far as you know, she's the only person left in the facility? What are you doing, Drew?
So I think I've been going around pulling down all those cameras, right?
Nice. Okay.
And I think what I've got, the Star Wars equivalent of a fire extinguisher. And I think what I do is I walk up underneath them, walk along and I'm kind of spraying it. And then I spray so the fog gets heavy around the cameras. And then I smash it. And then I go to the next one and I smash it, But it's under cover of that smoke. And I think as I do that, I start hearing the gunfire, and I go, oh, and I, out, and I think I keep spraying it to provide some cover, maybe behind us, but I don't think that's where the gunfire is coming from, and I keep rushing everybody out, go up, yeah,
nice.
That turbo is full. Let's go to this one, yeah.
So dozens of people who maybe a few of them you guys recognize from days on the streets. And when you come up into the hangar, you see that there are 4 TIE fighters that are like up in that row type thing. You guys remember in Force Awakens how they had the TIE fighters, and you kind of go up a ladder and they would pop and go into the center. And then there's one shuttle there that looks like it's basically the same model as the shuttle freighter that we saw before that left from Middle City that Inez left on with Tag's Earthburner. And they, of course, are going to head to the big shuttle. So people are starting to head towards that Descus. You see there are a few stormtroopers there, and they see all of this going on and immediately are going to open fire. What do you do, Descus?
Yeah, and at this point, I assume at least I have like taken off the helmet because
Oh, of course,
the
you gotta take your
audience
helmet
needs
on
to see who
as
we are.
soon as possible. Yes, for sure.
But I would still have like the stormtroopers sidearm at least.
Yes, you do, and you
So,
also have
yeah.
1 armor right now.
Ooh, that's a positive change. So yeah, I'm going to like return fire, but it's mostly to give cover to the people going to the shuttle. It's less to
Okay.
kill the stormtroopers and more to make them run and hide as much as possible.
Okay, cool. Then I think what you're trying to do is work under pressure here to try to give those folks cover instead of trying to blast them. So let's have you keep your cool. But you're trying to act fast here, right? Get those folks out of the way. So let's have you roll with hustle.
That sounds about right. So I +1. That's a 5.
Okay.
I'm going to need that armor now, I think.
You are. The good news is that Smiley's gun was much more powerful than their blaster rifles at range. They are stormtroopers after all. So you're going to be taking 3 harm, but you get to take 1 of those off. So you're
Cool.
not as bad off as you used to be, but you are what, at 5 harm now? And I think you got to take a hit. I forgot about that. So in combat, you shrug off the damage, roll plus might. You might be able to ignore
Stop
the
getting
damage.
shot, Desicus.
There's actually not a 5 on the drop down menu for damage for harm. It's a 3, 4, 6, 7, 8.
That's funny.
Oh yeah, mark XP, and yeah,
There's
but
no
I can
5.
take a hit. Yeah, plus might. Yeah, that's great. I have a -1 in might.
It's hilarious. Stephen, are you fixing your data validation? Have a 5 in there?
I'm not.
You were in the cell. Okay, I'll fix it real quick.
That's a 4.
A 4. That is 2 XP for you. I mean, that's a good
Wow.
news. 4, 5, 2. You're gonna level up. You're gonna be a level 3 glam sleuth soon. On a miss, you suffer the full effect of the hit. I gotta remember that. That's the weirdest. Okay. There's nothing worse that
really
happens. You
weird.
just take the hit. So you would have taken 3, 1 armor, so you take 2 harm. Which puts you at the 5 that now exists on your drop down. Sweet. As you get hit, Descus got hit again. We now have a trope for this game: is Descus getting shot. Our glam sleuth gets shot every episode. Sometimes
I'm glad I took the move I did when I leveled up last time. I got a dazzling comeback, so if I do go down, I can come back up again.
Call upon the power of glam.
Yeah. I'm too pretty to die.
Oh man, I should do more harm to you. I want to see you call upon the power of glam. That's it. My next hard move is to kill Desicus so I can see the power of glam. The power of glam compels you. The power of glam. Okay. Focus, Rich. Focus. Okay. Drew, as you and Gulster come up the turbo lifts and people are at a dead run towards the shuttle, some stormtroopers fire. Desicus is able, like, trying to she does draw the fire. She pulls that off.
So before I take my move, I want to point out, just mechanically, I looked it up. At 5 harm, you're down. You've got internal injuries, possibly unconscious, and you're bleeding out. So if you want to do your
Yes.
move now,
Thank
let's see it.
you.
Yeah.
Oh,
let's
that's
let's
awesome.
give everyone else a chance to do something first, and then
Okay.
then I can.
Oh yeah, that would
You
be
see
dramatic.
Descus get shot and she drops.
Yeah. So this is whenever Drew pulls off his stormtrooper helmet, and inside you can see that electronics that he was working on back in the van. He shoved it inside, and he jams his flu horn inside, and then blows on it. Right. And I'm going to use this as an area weapon for the troopers who still have their helmets on.
Wow. That's
Right.
awesome.
And I don't know why, but I think whenever we started, I put down that my clue horn and amplifier as a weapon, harm 1 or something like that. If I overcharge it. So that's effectively what I've done is I've just jacked it into the microphone so I can just blow out their ears. So I'm going to blast them
That's awesome.
and see what that looks like. And my hustle is 2. Okay. That's an 11, which gets me. I have a clear shot and I just deal damage.
Okay.
So I think this is going to be minor damage. I think I have down that my flu horn is like 1 area. So it's going to be 1 damage, but they're all going to go, be distracted by that feedback in their helmets.
That's awesome. Yes. So boom, it goes off. They're grabbing at their helmets. One guy's pulls his helmet off. Another guy just falls to the ground screaming, and the screams echo in his own helmet. It's terrible. Mr. Gulster, after you see Drew pull off this fantastic clue horn helmet attack, what do you do?
We gotta get up in the air. And Mr. Gulster is like running through the crowd of people to the shuttle because I mean, this is my new sweet ride. This this shuttle is gonna be the new thing. So yeah, he's just beating feet as much as he can to get into the cockpit.
Oh, sweet. I think you just do it. Like looking at time, I think that's a thing where you just do it, but Descus is lying on the deck near some stormtroopers who shot her. She must be dead.
I wave you on. Get in there. I'll grab Desicus and make sure they're okay.
Descus is always falling down. So
No,
yeah,
no,
I think I
I'm
get
fine.
there and maybe there's just because I love the thought of it. I think there's an Ardenian who we also rescued, who is another 4-armed species, and they have taken the co-pilot seat.
Yes.
And
Ardenian as seen in the solo story.
Yeah. Yep. So I jump in the pilot seat. We gotta get going. We gotta go.
You're telling me. Grab starts clipping because all right, get things going, get everything warmed up. Drew, you're running towards obviously dead Desicus. Or is she? Descus. What do you do?
Yeah, let me make the roll first because I don't want to like overplay
Exactly.
it if it's a dud. So it's so it's +2. That's an 8. So it's a hit. Recover enough harm to keep fighting, stand up, or break your bond. So yeah, I think this is Desicus. She like when she was shot, it was this slow motion, like she spun around and her hair waved and then she just dropped. And now she's like heaving herself up, and it's the dramatic music in the background, the triumphant music, and I refuse to die in this ugly ass armor. And she like pulls a quick release or something so that the armor drops.
Of course.
And she's got her awesome cool suit underneath. her usual yellow waistcoat and yellow vest and purple waistcoat. And she gets back up and she blasts one of the troopers who's down anyway, but you got to do it. And
Yes.
and then she looks to Drew and trying to think of the really good one-liner. But I think just, is everyone on board? It's time to blow this joint.
You're the last one. We have to, I don't know if we're going to make it go. And we'll run towards the
I'm
ship.
going.
Yeah.
Cool. And when you go, some of the people that you free, they are helping the two of you on board, and then the gate closes. Gulster, you've already gotten the engines ready with your Ardenian co-pilot. Yeah, punch it.
So do these shuttles have weapons?
They're Imperial.
Okay.
Yes, they have weapons.
So I think we see Drew slide down into the little bubble turret looking thing, and spin around and start shooting wildly back into the hangar. Yeah.
Awesome. Just to tie a bow on the move that you just rolled for dazzling comeback, on a hit you recover enough harm to keep fighting. I'm looking at the minor wounds. So minor wounds are end at 4 and it's serious at 5. So let's say you healed 1 harm there, you're now at 4 harm, which is actually on the original drop down. So you went from a ghost 5 that didn't exist to a 4 that did. Sweet. Mr. Gulster, as you're going, I'm going to say that this is dumb, but I'm doing it anyway. This Ardenian is surname Durant. He's like a cousin of Rio.
Okay.
Rio from Solo. So I'm just doing it. What Steven, what's his first name? It can be like a total regular Earth first name.
His name is Joe. J-O-E.
Joe Durant. Love it.
But it's
Joe,
it's spelled with an apostrophe, so it's like J apostrophe O. Yeah.
Joe. Yeah. We just call him Joe for short. I love it. Fantastic. So Joe looks to you and he says, Gulster, man, there's ties on their way towards this. This is gonna be a hell of a it's gonna be great. We're probably all gonna die, but something to talk about.
Mr. Gulster, like, we gotta punch it, and reaches for the hyperdrive levers. And I think Joe like moves his hand to the regular throttle. Sorry, I'm used to driving something else. And I imagine this is like a vertical shaft, right?
Yeah, it's gotta be.
Okay. And it goes to like maybe like the whole chase is going to happen in the shaft because we're like going to the top of terrace, right?
Man.
Like it's a really
This sounds amazing. I am so here for this.
And I think normally, that shaft, you would see the ship and it would slowly ascend, but we're doing this.
we're vertical in it, and the TIE fighters are too. So
yeah, it's
everyone,
the thing where you just kind of force through. There were 3 ties coming down towards you. They what, but then you force past, and they have to turn around, and now they're coming up from behind you. Yeah, I love this.
I'll try spinning. That's a good trick. And so we see Mr. Gulster spins the thing, and we're going as fast as we can, spinning as fast as we can up as the TIE fighters are behind us. This is keeping my cool, I guess. Just to make a little bit of space between us and the TIEs. I do want Drew and Edward Desiccus to get some shots in on the TIEs. So
I think I'd like to help. Right.
Sure. Okay.
The way that I help is, so Mr. Gulster, had been playing Drew's music in the Fuzzy Bantha, right?
Yes.
So I think that's whenever I jam the equivalent of an 8-track into one of the controls there, and it starts playing the music over it. So let me roll to help.
Yeah, just is it a good song to escape the Imperials in?
Yeah, I did not help.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So on a miss, that just means that they're tied up in it, right?
I think.
Okay.
I think so. I think the help somebody out. Yeah, it's just I just don't help out. I think I'll throw a hard move your way. Fever
Okay.
starts aching, Drew.
Oh yeah.
All this work.
So how about I take a
man.
-1 forward on the next shot?
Oh,
that
I like
take?
it. Yeah, -1 forward
Okay.
on from the pain of you twist it. You think you broke it, man.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna do might with for because I'm powering through. Does that make sense? I'm just going for raw speed and craziness here. So
Love it.
all right. Rolling +2. Oh, am I protecting innocence?
Oh, you are trying.
Taking my third. All right. Here we go. 3d6 +2. If I can. Anyways, here we go.
Come on, worst roll. Oh, it's good. That's a 10.
8, 10. So I think like there's always like the 3 wings on Imperial shuttles.
Totally.
I think when he meant to spin, he also hit the wings opening and they start to scrape the edges.
Oh,
so as
cool.
we're spinning, there's a shower of sparks coming down onto the TIE fighters as we're shooting up. Ah!
That's amazing.
Me and the
that's
Ardenian, like
amazing.
there's the shot at like from outside the shuttle. Me and the Ardenian are both going, ah, and the sparks behind us.
Just a moment of you guys both screaming at each other. That feels so 70s. I really enjoying that. Cool. Yeah, but with the 10 plus, if you throw those sparks, maybe that we flash down. There's a bunch of sparks that are coming against the front of the cockpit of one of the ties. He's like, oh, his little wing clips the other wing, and the two go and explode. And then you come up out of the shaft, right, with the flames behind you. And then one TIE fighter comes to like the little silhouette. He comes out, and we see that it's the wings kind of folded in. And obviously, this is an expert TIE fighter pilot. He's dialing in a thing. We see the shuttle in the reticles. He's trying to whop 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 whop. Descus.
Someone get on the guns.
Descus, what are you doing about this?
Yeah, I think since we're like flying vertical, and I'm going to assume that there's like a rear gun of some kind, like
Totally. There is
something.
now. Yes, that's where they put it.
So she kind of like falls into the little gun turret because we're going up and you're supposed to just sit there, but she falls down, so she's kind of like hanging almost behind the ship and just hanging on to the gun and firing wildly.
How else do you fire?
Yeah. Long uncontrolled burst. That's the only way. So that's hustle, right?
Yeah, it is.
That's a 6.
A 6. It sounds like you've made yet again some more XP.
Yeah, that's true. That's the good part. That's what I was aiming for. I wasn't aiming for the TIE fighter. I was aiming for the XP.
And then, I mean, you did put everyone else's lives in danger to get your XP. That's a pretty selfish maneuver, but it's kind of glam also, in a way, I think. So there's several shots as you guys trade fire back and forth. You hear you're like trying to bring this thing online, and then all of a sudden, as you're firing, fire all around it. It's totally the moment from Pulp Fiction where it's like you hit everything but the TIE fighter in the middle, and then the whop 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 whop. He fires off a few shots, and Mr. Gulster all of a sudden, Joe Durant's like, "Oh man, we're in trouble. We're gonna go down." And the ship is starting to emit some smoke, and there are all kinds of alarms going off. A little bit of sparks from the front console. Mr. Gulster, what do you do?
Mr. Gulster gives the music disc another bonk with one of his hands, and it's Drew's song. It's the one that I was talking about. It sounds like Miserlou. It's the very challenging song that he was going to play at the end,
Man.
right, with the really big loud drum intro. And we're gonna. I've always wanted to do this, and Mr. Gulster now reaches for the hyperspeed handles.
Oh, yes. That's amazing. It just like, sure.
Hang on, everyone.
Sounds like you're trying to power through here.
Yeah, I think hold on. Or
if you've got a
I mean, this is
pilot
like
move, let's do that.
the end of the series. Do we
Yeah.
want to make this a montage?
Oh, that sounds wild. Sure, let's say yes.
Okay.
Oh God, but let me add one more thing as you're moving towards montage, right? We hear the music of the Miserlou playing, and you're coming up, you've shot past thoop, 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 from lower past middle past upper terrace. You're now up in the atmosphere, and we see this huge triangle coming across as there's a Star Destroyer in orbit. You're able to see it coming, and you're coming, and you see more TIE fighters coming toward you guys from the Star Destroyer, and now we can have some split screen action there. I had to up some stakes.
Yeah.
This is probably leading to epilogues of good or bad results.
For sure. So the crazy scheme is that we are going to punch it past the Star Destroyer and get to light speed and escape the planet Terrace.
Yes, without calculating proper astrogation coordinates and not
Without
entirely sure
doing
where you're going.
Any of that wild jump.
While in atmosphere, you are going to jump to hyperspeed, to light speed. This sounds great.
So that sounds like we're playing. That sounds like we're doing Hustle.
It's either pushing through being quick or taking dangerous, possibly destructive
dangerous
action.
Yeah, okay. So that is +2. I'm doing it to protect the innocents.
You are.
Keep throwing it in there. Okay.
You might as well. You're finally getting use out of it.
Okay. We are not supported by plenty of resources.
You do not have accurate, like you don't even have astrogation coordinates in.
There's significant opposition. That's -1.
Opposition. And
now would be the time. Is there any dissent about this plan?
Does anyone care about the idea? No dissent from Discus. What about from Drew? Do you?
No, we're good.
Oh wow, you guys are crazy. All right, this is great. So then that would be minus. It's a -1 overall to you're rolling. Yep, so you're rolling with us. You're rolling what with might?
It's a 12.
12. That's great. I don't have to do any work now because you guys are going to narrate us out. So I'd like to see Dessicus. What is your part of this? Like we slice. We got 3 kind of profile looks, and what does Dessicus do in this montage? We're going to end with Gulster. So Drew, you're right in the middle.
Yeah, I think after her wildly missing this TIE fighter, she like takes a breath, actually straps into the harness with this gun and pulls down the targeting thing, makes sure her hair looks good and adjusts her jacket, and then she starts firing and actually hitting these TIE fighters that are coming at us.
Nice. Drew, what does your portion of this montage look like?
So I Googled the shuttle that Greg put up, and I was like looking at it, and I'm like, look, it has concussion missiles. So I think in Arabic we see this little button that says concussion missiles next to it. And Drew punches that button, but doesn't notice that like the button for the missiles are on the other side. This is the escape pod button. So this escape pod comes out and we see it, and it just kind of is suspended there for a second, and then it starts to tumble and takes out one of the TIE fighters, smashes into it as yeah.
That's great. And then Mr. Gulster. Oh my. What is the end of our montage, our split screen montage look like?
So we're coming up the Imperial, we're starting to get like the actual like laser blasts from the Imperial Star Destroyer, right? Because at this point, Glenn Holla has like sent in some message, right, that there's escapees and blah blah blah. The whole thing is up. So we're starting to get the laser blasts, and Joe is like, come on, punch it, the coast is clear. And I'm like, no, wait. And then Drew's solo comes on, and then I punch the handles as the stars like, and we fly off into hyperspace. There's the whole scene. Yeah.
Nice. Oh, the credits start to roll. And there's no warnings that no animals are harmed in the making of this film, because the 70s, I don't even know if that was standard anymore. Does anyone have any post-credit epilogues for their characters?
So I have an idea, but not exactly where it should go. But I like the idea. So we punched it, we got away, but the coordinates that were programmed into the shuttle were wherever they were taking it, right? So it's like, we see the shuttle come out, and it's, at the scientific, study where the super troopers would be done.
Yeah. Junction. I love it. The Imperial stronghold of Junction. Awesome.
Yeah, that's the sequel bait, the post-credit sequel bait.
Cool. Does anybody have any other epilogues they wanted to throw in?
No, I like that. That's perfect. Oh no.
It'll be a good story, Durance insists. And with that, we'll bring this series to a close. You saved the kidnappees. You stopped the slave ring. Oh, did you blow up the facility? I don't know if you guys did. I think you just freed everybody and ran away. I don't know.
I think didn't Drew like fire into the hangar when we left? I thought
Fired randomly, but yeah.
Okay.
It's a 70s movie, right? So we would see explosions like gas going off and that kind of stuff.
That's
but
true.
yeah.
There we go. It's definitely the facility is in bad shape. They're not going to get that thing back up and running. I don't want a fully Pyrrhic victory for you guys. That would suck. You freed dozens of people, bystanders, innocent bystanders, and there you go, victory. But also set up for a sequel, because that seems right. Sweet. Well, with that, we can bring this series to an actual legit close. Thank you guys so much for playing. This is really fun. And I'll go ahead and stop recording here.